This
Everybody
is a
talk. All
lovely
of you can
time.
talk at
We're
one time.
having
Come
a
on,
great
keep talking,
meeting.
keep talking. I want to
And
hear everybody
I
talking.
really
Everybody
am here
talking.
to
Happy to be
see
here, and I
everybody and
just
enjoy much.
it's so
And I can see
wonderful.
that Julia's
I look
muted
forward to
herself.
the
Stop.
autumn
Talking, Liliana,
equinox,
please
Stop.
unmute yourself.
and
Mute, please. Okay. I'm an empath. That means that I receive people's feelings even when they're not next to me or close to me. I can pick up people's feelings, particularly people I love, from hundreds of miles away. And what I just demonstrated to you is what it's like for me and people like me to walk into Walmart. There is this emotional noise, this chaotic flash of emotions from all different directions at all different volumes. And when I first got up to Indian country, and I've been an empath for a long time, and the elder said, "Don't go to crowded places. You can't deal with that. You can't." And they were right. It was very confusing. It's very confusing. And so I stayed away from places like Walmart, and I stayed away from sports events, and I stayed away from movie theaters for the most part. I definitely stayed away from really busy restaurants and really busy bars. And that was partially how I survived, was with picking up all these emotions. Now, I think we all broadcast all the time. It pretty well is how it feels to me. It's everybody's sending out their emotional status all the time. But some people are numb, and so there's not much there. And some people are what I'd call normal. They're not numb, but they're not feeling a lot of stuff. There's not real intensity behind their emotions. But there's the real fearful, strong emotions, and there's the real wonderful, loving emotions at kind of the tail ends of the bell curve. And those I can pick up pretty easily at almost any distance. So how does that happen? How do we end up on being the receiving end of all this broadcasting? And in truth, I don't know, but I have some clues. I was fortunate. I was an adult. I was 19 years old when a switch flipped, and all of a sudden I went from being what I would consider a normal person to an empath, good sense people hundreds of miles away, people I loved. And I don't know how to explain that. It was like a gift from my point of view. I do know I've done a lot of preparation unknowingly. I have to laugh about, we don't know when we're guided, when we're not particularly, or I didn't. I've been studying Dr. Ryan and Duke University in parapsychology for years. And I played around with hypnosis, and I'd read a lot of science fiction, and so all that stuff was perhaps not normal, but familiar. I wasn't afraid of things like telepathy. I wasn't afraid of things like being empathetic. I wasn't afraid of clear seeing, because I'd had all this preparation. I didn't know I was being prepared for it, but those were the things I enjoyed doing, and I did them, and it worked out that when that switch got flipped, I was ready. I didn't think I was crazy. And that's important. Since then, I'm a lot older. I mean, that was 19, I'm 82, so time has moved on, and I've had lots more experience. And I think it's possible to open that switch, if you will, open that capacity. For me, being able to sense people's emotions is no different than being able to see or being able to hear. It's another perception. It's not magical. It's not usual in our culture. But then we've always had mystics. We've always had people who had gifts. That's what we called them. We've always had people who were telepathic. And I do believe fundamentally it's normal to what we are. But I think most of us turn it off sometime very early in life, maybe when we're born. So how do we turn it back on, or do we want to turn it back on? If you do, I think the first issue is learning how to just quiet your mind. This whole business of being in the present, being centered, they had a lot of words for it. But I think that's crucial. If you're going to pick up what's going on from other people, it seems like you need to kind of quiet your own emotional state. And I don't mean shut it down or repress it. I just mean center it. Find that peaceful place, that quiet, serene place that exists within all of us. I think it's from that place that you can begin to reach out and discover what's going on around you emotionally or even verbally. I know people who are both sensitive to feelings, but also sensitive to thoughts. And you can be on the other side of the door and they know what you're feeling. They also know what you're thinking. And I have to tell you that in my experience, that frightens the hell out of normal people. There is a sense of invading privacy, which is a caution for receiving. It's one thing to receive. It's another thing to have a big mouth about receiving. This is not a good way to build ego because people are going to want to burn the witch. They don't like that kind of intrusive. That's how they see it. I don't think it's intrusive. I think it's inevitable that people will sense what's going on. That doesn't change the way most people react. And unless they're actually seeking help, your help, my help, whoever's help, it's best to not come at this directly. You may know what's going on, but it's best not to be obvious and overtly saying what's going on. I teach some of my students, if you're sensing somebody's antsy, uncomfortable, itchy, my response these days, and it's a learned response, is I'm feeling kind of uneasy. Because if I say I'm feeling a little uneasy, they're not threatened. And they might say, yeah, I kind of feel that way myself. Whereas if I say, why are you uneasy? There's a whole nother reaction that's possible. So I have no surefire way of saying how do you become aware of your ability to receive what's going on externally to you and other people. I mean, in some sense, I think we're all one, and so it really is you reaching out to other portions of yourself. But I do think it has to begin with the ability to be quiet in your own mind and quiet and serene in your own relationships. I'm guessing, but it's an educated guess of somebody who's been an empath for decades. And with that, I'm prepared to turn this over to comments and questions. And Meenakshi has kindly offered to do a timekeeper here. So when time's over for questions and answers, she's got a bell, she's got a ring or some kind of buzzer. So questions, comments.
Hi. Hello.
I hear you.
Can you hear me? You can hear me. I'm like having some technical issues. All right. Hello. It's Nayantara. I'm in Gordonsville, Virginia. Um, I just want to say that I'm glad I could get with you guys. It might not be for that long, but I wanted to, get grounded with you. The thing that I'm asking, we can have questions, right? Is that what you said? Questions? Okay.
The comments, either one.
So here's I have a question. It's sort of windy. My question is, while I recognize and pat myself on the back for how far I've come, I mean, it's pretty much like exponential stuff's going on. So, like, while that's true, good. I'm in a circle of trees. It's perfect. It's like I guess what I'm asking is, how can I do some kind of filter or what modulation on like the synchronicity stuff? Because the way I am, it's like I'm dormant for months, but then when I'm out in the world, it's just it's too much, and then I end up being too much for people regularly, and I'm doing better with that, but I know that my energy is so powerful. It's just so powerful. I'm such a manifester, and I have all this Kali energy. And so, do you have any suggestions? Because okay, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I didn't sleep at all last night, and I don't even feel it. I didn't sleep 2 days ago, and then I barely have eaten any food for several days. I'm eating only vegetables, and now it's like I'm just drinking some powder here and there. And so the spiritual stuff is like blatant. It's huge. And my mom's 90, and I guess it's like my fear. My fear is when my mom dies, and like, I mean, I'm getting it together pretty fast, but there's a huge mess going on in my Indian side of the family, like a big huge mess, and I'm just having to cope with it all. And I'm handling, I feel my feet on the ground, but the way my mind spins, it's like I was hoping on this Zoom call I could get some kind of thing to hold on to. Because, like, when people are like, you have to sleep, like, that's not good enough. I need some kind of spiritual pill that I can swallow right now, and then it's going to do something. That's my question.
Just take it. Okay, I think there's two different answers to your question. One is, Davida is going to talk about radiating, which is really part of the answer as a part of this series. That's the third part of this conversation. So I think part of your answer will come there. The other part of your answer is, how do you stay sane under normal circumstances when everybody around you is going nuts and they're people you care about? And I don't think we have time to address that at this point, but I would be happy to talk with you privately if you want to do that. You want to do some of that kind of work? Right? Okay, any other questions?
I don't know you yet, so we'll see. Probably. That's like huge question. So other people might put in some 2 cents that'll be helpful. Thank you for hearing me.
Okay.
You could also take melatonin. That might help at night to help you sleep. Some people have problems with melatonin. Some people that really helps them sleep. And there are a couple other things that'll help you sleep. But actually, your energy is skyrocketing, and you're not the only one. I have another friend who's in high power mode like that. So the biggest connection right now, if you're going to have to go, would be try to connect and go inside to a God source, or to the light, or loving yourself, or anchor in a tree. Some quick things at the moment just to do that. They're telling me that you have something that you can hold, just to hold, to connect to that. That's a source connection. You'll find that with you somewhere.
Other questions or comments?
Like a rock.
She uses rocks. She has 2 of my pyrite rocks. One is a circle, one is an egg, and they're big. And they were obviously meant to go to her. They create tremendous emotion, but they helped her ground her. So you could take a white and a black rock, or a brown rock, or something like that too. I mean, well, anything, yeah. And just use something to connect and ground your energy, because you've got this earth energy and you need to do that. she's doing it. There are others.
See, also because crystals can amplify your energy as well as also absorb it. But you are in nature. That's the most beautiful way to ground. But then stay still, be near a tree and just be there. You know, that's another way. That's when, especially when you spoke about filters, you said, can we just have filters? And I was just thinking that's exactly what all our, the human sense organs have been given to us. All of them have filters. And you don't have to let all the
Mine don't work. Mine don't work that well. Good to see you. Namaste.
Who's next?
Thank you. What's the lady's name? What's the lady's name who just talked? The lady before.
Tavita.
Oh, hi, Tavita.
What?
Tavita.
Davita. Thank you.
Tavita.
That was really helpful, Davita. And you know, when you said your friend had the two, I've got two big ones on my altar right now. You guys are not going to believe. You're not going to believe what's on my altar. Spirit gave me this thing yesterday.
I would encourage you to use those, and I would encourage you to get two smaller ones you can put in your pocket. Those you'll find, they may be pyrite, they may be some other stones, but you need those.
I don't have pyrite. Tell me which kind. What did you say? Pyrite?
I don't know what they're going to be. You'll find them. They'll come to you. It could be pyrite, labradorite, and a couple other ones, or just plain white rock and a black rock from the ground.
Okay, I have labradorite dripping from every orifice. I have so much labradorite.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you, guys.
And how do you respond to a cry for help? Well, it depends what kind of help's needed. But it's sort of like, you see a fire and maybe you want to get a fire extinguisher or find a hose or see if somebody needs to come out of the house. I don't think there's a universal response. But for me, when I get a signal, particularly from somebody I don't know, and I'm picking up their distress of some kind, I treat it as a cry for help. They are literally asking for help. They haven't said the words, but that's what's going on. And then the question is, okay, what's an appropriate way to deal with that? I try to deal with it in ways that are not intrusive and not indicating that I understand thoroughly what's going on. It's easier to ask. It's non-threatening. But I'll give you an example, and it doesn't involve me, actually. The elder used to come over to our home and have supper, and he would often fall asleep on the couch. And my wife felt that guilty that perhaps she was not being a good hostess because he was falling asleep. Now, these are Cree people, traditional Cree people, so they're not going to bring this subject up. But she could tell me that because I'm her husband. Right? So a few days later, I went to the elder and I said, Eva thinks she's not being a good hostess because you fall asleep at our house. And he said, I'll take care of that. And a couple days later, he comes over like usual for supper, but he's carrying a blanket. And he comes in and he says, this blanket is for you. He said, I can only sleep where I feel safe, and sometimes I get cold. And if I fall asleep, could you cover me with the blanket? That's a level of perception and response that is so non-threatening. He had no idea, she had no idea there'd been a conversation about how she felt about this. That's the way I try to respond to this stuff, okay? That's how I try to respond. I see it as a cry for help, but I try and find a way to deal with it that is not in people's faces. Sometimes you need to be in people's faces, but I try not to do that. I hope that answers your question.
That was really helpful.
I think if you want to do your thing, Meenakshi, you're going to have to step in. We're 30 minutes into the program already.
Waiting.
I'm waiting for you to say what you say when you finish talking, Kisitua.
I didn't understand what you were asking.
You always say hi when you stop, so I'm waiting for
Ah,
that. I don't want to interrupt you again.
I put the stick back. Hey, hey.
So let's just all relax into wherever we are, whether we are standing or we are sitting, and just be very comfortable in this thing that we call our body, but is actually like a travel. It's something that we are actually traveling in even when we think we are still. Because this physical body is actually a universe, and it's always giving us messages. So let's receive today from our own body, from this beautiful gift that has been given to us by Creator Spirit, and which is going to stay with us all the time that the soul decides it has to be on this earth and do its work on earth. Let's become very comfortable in this body. Your eyes may be open or closed, but your attention can go anywhere, and that is the gift of receiving. Slowly let your attention go with your breath. As you breathe in, feel yourself with your consciousness entering into this vehicle, which is taking you and transporting you and keeping you on this earth. Slowly begin to enter into the lungs, that vast space like a cave, which is vibrant with this earth, which is vibrant with the air. It's inside your body, and yet it's deeply connected, very well connected to the outside. This air that you breathe in and you breathe out. And what happens in the middle? Keep going with the air, keep going with your breath, deeper and deeper into the heart. And just feel this heart with all its windows, and open the windows one by one. The heart is just space. It is the sound before it is spoken. Receive the message of this sound. This is the message of love, the message of unconditional love. Feel every window slowly opening, and look out from every window. What do you see when you open one window? And as you walk to the next window and you open the window of your heart, what do you see out of that window? And breathe in. This is the breath you're taking in from your heart. This is how you are receiving, and this is how you're absorbing the love. I see a forest outside one window, and I breathe in the air and the beautiful air that the forest is giving me. And from another window, I see the ocean, and I breathe in the neutrinos that are coming from there. I open another window, and I see a gathering of people around a warm fire. And I feel that sense of connection, and that helps me to ground, and that helps me to feel so loved and wanted in this world. And through another window, I see all the people who I love and who love me. And here I allow my breath to go out of my body. And with my breath goes all the love and all the blessing and all the gifts that I know I have to give. And so, as I breathe in and I breathe out, I deeply absorb the gifts of this world. Just stay in this space for a while. As you breathe in, pause for a while. Go inside yourself. And as you breathe out, pause for a while and see where your breath is going. See where your breath comes from. See where your breath goes, and then see where it goes when you let it out. And in this way, you absorb all the gifts of this beautiful universe, which has been created for you. And in this way, you co-create a beautiful universe for all those who are near and dear to you. Stay in this space for 4 breaths.
In this space, we are going to radiate further. We are going to open our crown as we connect into the source of all creation, to spirit. And you can open further your heart, your energy field around you, and bring in the joy and grace that the universe has for you. For as you bring it into your heart, you begin to fill up greater and greater throughout your body, throughout your spirit, and you radiate out light. You listen to your inner guides, for they will guide you. You trust in the universe and anchor yourself in your soul, source that you are now and forevermore connected to. If your mind goes into conscious awareness at the normal level, you think. And then you breathe in again, and you connect and align to the Great Spirit within, to the light, to the colors. And you find your crown opening up and a ball of light coming down, going through you, grounding you, not grounding you, but connecting you to the earth. And the smile inside lights you up. And the joy is your consciousness, which is consciously present in two places simultaneously now. We ask that you sense your body and mind and your higher mind above your head, your soul source. That is the God, the Reiki connection, the Chi connection, the Great Spirit connection. When you connect to this, it automatically radiates out. You are whole and you are complete. You just let that light shine out and your mind expands into the consciousness of unity consciousness, of the Creator consciousness, of the Great Spirit consciousness, of any energy that is around you that lights up your heart and your soul as you're walking through life. You focus on that. You bring in the infinite trust and the unbounded and infinite and eternal soul of your God source. And you know that that is who and all you are, a being of light, of joy, of peace, of dynamic energy. You look upon others and find something beautiful to comment on. You look upon others as your energy is going out constantly. It will connect to others and automatically heal. You don't even have to think about it, because as you move through spirit, through this denseness, you also become lighter and lighter as you bring in light, the colors of light, gold, silver, magenta, violet flame. You see a stone, the energy of the stone. It transmutes itself into spirit and gives you the strength and the courage to send out strong light wherever you are. You see a bird and the wings of light, and you feel lighter and lighter. The beautiful colors of blue, wisdom, and love circulate through your body. You allow and know that the whole universe is within you, and you are just a state of grace. Simultaneously in 3 places, 1 place or 2, as you open yourself, you become that channel of light. You walk in it. Your body speaks of it because you are free. You are not bounded anymore. You are soul, God, grace connected to divinity, to the greatest being of Gaia and spirit in the cosmos. There is nothing more. And so go around with this light radiating and shining out. Bring in the joy. It is your choice. Bring in the love. Bring in the happiness and the laughter. Allow it to shine out through your third eye, your crown, out of your body, out of your high heart, out of your heart, and out of the feet as you walk on the earth. Be aware that you are the spirit on earth. You are connecting to the lighter frequencies, and you are just pure light, feeling the grace of everything here as perfect, understanding everybody is perfect. Breathe in and out and relax deeper. As you bring your eyes back into open, come back through in 2 states of awareness simultaneously. Your body with your eyes, your consciousness radiating out above your head with divine mind energy, and then with your present consciousness of thinking where you are. Feel the light emanating out through your body. Send it out to all that is here, to all that is on the earth, family and friends, and send it out into the energy fields around the earth. And allow seeds of light flickering all few into the universe and around the earth to expand all conscious awareness of their light bodies, their light beings, and their unity. Seek ye the angels, your guides, your spirit guides, and ask when you are in a place you do not know where you are. Just ask. I ask my angels, my guides, my spirits to give me a symbol or a sign or a voice. Connect to that. It is pure light. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We are grateful for your work. And so it is. Amen. Namaste.
Hey,
When you're ready and you've opened your eyes and you've come back, if anybody'd like to share, please speak up. Aware and awake, and allow the rest of the energy to work through and around you. That is very important. You don't have to move, you don't have to do anything, just the eyes and then the voice.
I'm uncertain how I want to put it. I guess the first thing I believe is we all radiate all the time.
We do.
So it's really about what are we radiating and how much control we have over that. And for me, and maybe it's just lots of practice, it's simple. I mean, it's just, I think, I always think of Walmart because that was one of the craziest places I was ever in. There are a lot of group places that aren't terribly crazy. AA meetings, for example, tend to be fairly serene. And many churches have a really nice environment emotionally. But Walmart has always been kind of messy to me in my experience. So, I get out of the car and I start radiating Reiki. How do I do that? Well, it's just a conscious intent. I'm no longer even certain whether I'm radiating it out of my eyeballs or out of my mouth, or it's just flowing out of my aura, or I'm in the kind of place that my friend Fuzzy John calls the place of no words. And it seems simple, okay? It really does. And yet, clearly it's not.
Well, you've practiced for a long time. And
Yeah.
sometimes it pops in. I mean, when I was in Singapore, it popped in and it stayed with me for years, because of my work and my meditation, my connection. When I came to the States was more difficult, dealing with family and the energy here. And I traveled the world, and this was the most difficult place for me. So it's difficult, particularly if you're right now when so many people are having, we don't just have the energy we had 6 years ago. We have energy now that's compounded about 3 to 10 times And so people have their family energy, their own energy. They have the atmospheric energy, which being played with. They have the dimensional energy around the earth. And then they have the confusion of so many people dealing with emotion and putting it out. So it is truly compounded at the moment. So you have to, as you said, have intention.
I just realized that long before Reiki, um, the North American Indians have a game, and I don't know why this didn't occur to me before. They have a guessing game. It's called hand games, and they bet a lot of money on it. You hide a bone in one hand, and then people have to guess which hand you have the bone and which one's got nothing in it. But it's team effort, and there'll be 10 people on a side, and they're sitting facing each other, and there's a log on the ground, and they're beating their drum and at the log. And there's one person who's responsible for hiding, and there's another person on the other side responsible for guessing. But it has 3 levels that nobody ever talks about. And the first level is just pure guessing. And they have a bunch of hand signals. And it's in this hand. It's in that hand. It's in, well, if you have 2 people, it's in the outside hand. But when people first start, they're just guessing. That's all they're doing. And then you begin to do what poker players do. You look for tells. How do you read the face? Because they hide that bone behind their back, and then they come out with which one's got the bone. And people are reading your reaction, and some people become extraordinarily good at that. And they will guess based on what the tells are. And that's the second level. Well, while this is going on, the older people, the elders and medicine people, are throwing energy at each other. And one side's tossing them, trying to confuse the guesser on the other team, and the other side is trying to build shields to protect the guesser from all the energy coming in. And that's the third level, the energy game. And you don't even know what's going on. They never talk about this, but that is what's going on. There's this power that the old ones are using to both attack, if you will, and defend, if you will. And I remember sitting up at the Center for Arts in Banff, and it's evening we finished doing a workshop where the students were all out. We're teaching them how to play hand games. And one of the other apprentices, there were 3 of us apprenticed to the same elder, and he started throwing energy at me. And I don't think he knew that I was aware of that. And I surprised him because I just whacked it back at him and kind of knocked him off his perch. And he smiled. From that time on, we spent another 40 or 50 minutes just playing with energy. And it never occurred to me until this moment how that relates to radiating now going to Walmart. But it does. It's the same precise kinds of intention to let that energy flow. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I have never made that connection before. Never. It's amazing, because I didn't know Reiki then. I had nothing to do with Reiki. I had nothing to do with energy flows, but I knew how to play that game. And I learned to play a lot over the years. But yeah, there's obviously a direct connection. And it just got made. Thank you. Hi.
So let's end this with all the 3. We did receiving, we did absorbing, and we did radiating. So just for a moment, if everyone can open their hands, it doesn't matter if you're not on video, but just open your hands in front of your heart and just feel that you're receiving all the gifts of the universe. And as Kisitwa always teaches us, and so does Tavita, everything we receive is a gift. If we don't like it, there's a gift in that. If we like it, there's a gift in that. Everything in this universe that we receive is a gift.
Right.
Receive it with love and receive it with openness and then absorb it. Because you are the greatest gift of this universe. You're the greatest gift to this universe. You are the pure consciousness flowing through every pore of you. So absorb everything into you and then just radiate it out. Let everything go. And in this flow of receiving, absorbing, and radiating, we are co-creating a beautiful world, which is always benefiting all beings. I'm so grateful for all the gifts of teaching that I'm learning from the teachers who speak and the teachers who don't speak. I'm always having to learn from that. I'm so blessed that all of you have been here today. Thank you.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless.